It's October 2012 and I'm here in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, better known as Saigon. And behind me here are the gates where the tanks smashed through to get into the palace at the end of the Vietnam War. This is a very famous scene. On the morning of April 30, 1975, a column of 7 North Vietnamese tanks rolled down Saigon's deserted streets and crashed through the gates of South Vietnam's presidential palace. A soldier leapt from the lead tank and raised a red, blue and yellow flag. The Vietnam War was over and North and South Vietnam would now be reunited.
The North Vietnamese army entered Saigon just as they'd planned on May Day. Their journey had taken over 30 years, 10,000 days. And those of the world's press left behind in the city witnessed the triumphant arrival.
This is a historic moment, the arrival of the North Vietnamese regular army in Saigon, right in the middle of Saigon, just after 12 o'clock, just after noon. Here they are pouring down the main avenue. Further up there is the American embassy. At this end of the avenue is the former presidential palace, which President Chu left just over a week ago, and from which General Min has today announced that he will unconditionally hand over to the new regime.
Their tanks had thundered down the length of Vietnam all the way from Hanoi. Now they crossed Saigon's boulevards and their foot-weary infantry plodded past the deserted military barracks. The people did not know whether they should cheer or weep, and they had yet to discover who was friend and who was foe. They had expected a bloodbath, but not a shot was fired that day and not a drop of blood spilt. The communist flag flew over a Saigon renamed. To honor the man whose prophecies had led them here and who had died before he saw them come true, they called it Ho Chi Minh City. South Vietnam, such a short-lived nation, was finally toppled.
And these are the gates that were smashed by the tank. Well, we're on the 4th floor of the palace, and down there you can see the tanks. Right, and that's the gate where they smashed through the entrance of the palace. A lot of history here. I'm getting a guided tour here. This is the main meeting room of the government, right here.
Here over there. Okay. That's right. Over there.
This is a banquet room. So we're getting a tour of the palace. This is back from pre-revolution. And this is the president's office here, pre-revolution.
Just you. Okay, behind it is the toilet. And behind this one, single staircase.
This is the president's reception room. That's the old president prior to 1975. This is a private casino where they played mahjong. This is an old projector room from the 1970s for the private theatre down the bottom. The theatre is sort of through there, if you can just see it down there.
If you want to change the slide, just pull the buttons. The slide will be changed. It was really modern at that time. Yeah.
So these buttons, you push the button and it would, and these walls would slide.
Yeah.
It's like an iPad.
Yeah.
Like an iPad.
Yeah, iPad. Yeah, to Washington, D.C.
Radio transmitters. Old style. So we're now 1 metre underground in the bunker, and this is where all the control rooms were. The teleplexes down there, all the communications. So this is all very secret at the time, of course. And now we're going down even further to another bunker where the president used to have to go if there was in case there was a bombing. And from here the president would go from the war room into the bunker if they were attacked. This is the Fair Dinkum bunker. Okay, now we come to the end of the bunker area. So this is where we used to sit and talk and all that. That's where there's another entrance to the bunker here where the soldiers came up. And this is to go back upstairs now. Today we're travelling about 2.5 hours from Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon to the Cu Chi district to visit the famous tunnels of Cu Chi. And now we're going to get a guided tour of the Cu Chi tunnels. The tunnels of Cu Chi are an immense network of connecting underground tunnels located at Cu Chi and are part of a much larger network of tunnels that underlie much of the country. The Cu Chi tunnels were the location of several military campaigns during the Vietnam War and were the Viet Cong's base of operations for the Tet Offensive in 1968. The tunnels were used by Viet Cong guerrillas as hiding spots during combat, as well as serving as communications and supply routes, hospitals, food and weapons storage and living quarters for numerous guerrilla fighters. The tunnel systems were of great importance to the Viet Cong in their resistance to American forces and helped achieve the ultimate military success.
So first question, please.
Here at our briefing, we have an actual Viet Cong soldier who was there and answered any questions we had. He noted several times that fighting like this should never happen again and will never happen again. So we've just finished our lecture on how the tunnels actually worked by an actual guy that was there at the time. This is the bamboo trap. Here is a demonstration of how the Viet Cong used the entrances of their tunnels. After opening the lid, they gather some leaves as camouflage and place them on top of the lid. He then goes down the hole and lifts the camouflage lid over his head and enters into the tunnel. And here we have a typical Viet Cong campsite here. Fake anthills were used to ventilate the tunnels with long hollow bamboo posts. Here we are given a demonstration on how the various booby traps were used. This was a very effective way to slow down the Americans because a half a dozen other soldiers' time was taken up rescuing their fellow soldier who was trapped. This is a seesaw trap. And now we are visiting a Viet Cong military workshop where, for example, unexploded American bombs were disarmed and then used against the Americans. Lots of other work was also carried out here. Here, sandals were made from old truck tyres. I'm going down a actual tunnel now, down here.
Okay, this way.
So we'll see what it's like.
Do you want me to have a... Okay, this way.
So we'll see what it's like.
Do you want me to have a...
Let's see what this is all about. That's really something, very claustrophobic. Well, this is a cluster bomb, which officially are banned, but they're still being used in Syria. Well, today we're going on a ride around Ho Chi Minh City on a motorbike here. I'll be a brilliant passenger, and these guys are going to take us around Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, and we're ready to go. Well, we've stopped here at the Notre Dame Church here in Ho Chi Minh City, the Catholic cathedral here. And this is the post office here behind me.
This is the post office. It's built in 1891, and this is the Notre Dame, they built in 1880.
Here we are inside the post office. Very beautiful old building, built by the French. Here's a map of Vietnam. Well, look at these beautiful old telephone booths. Just fantastic. And they're still working, you know. See? Just a little handset there. And on the other side, there's also a bank of telephone booths, but these have been converted to ATM machines. This is an ATM machine inside this one. You see? It's a beautiful park here in the middle of Ho Chi Minh City, and behind me are the tourist security people that keep following you wherever you go. Keep an eye on you and make sure you're looked after. It's very good. And this is the palace over here, which we've already been to the palace. You speak English?
Yeah.
You speak English? Yeah. Really? That's good. For your security?
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to cross the road here. The trick is, that's alright. Yeah, I'll be there. No lights? Yeah, here we go. So the trick is to keep moving. Not to stop. There we go. Well, after our little walk around, we continue on our motorcycle tour around Ho Chi Minh City, and I think now we're going to Chinatown. But watch how we get into this traffic here. We're going to get into that traffic. everybody keeps going at the same pace. It has been estimated that there are 2.5 million motorbikes in Ho Chi Minh City and a population of 6.5 million people. We have now arrived in Chinatown, visiting a Buddhist temple. Vietnamese and Buddhism have a symbiotic relationship with Taoism, Chinese spirituality, and the indigenous Vietnamese religion. They believe that by burning incense, their ancestors could protect them and their family from danger and harm. They also burn fake money and other fake-shaped objects. By doing this, they believe that it will be passed on to their ancestors in the afterlife, where it is valuable. We are now going to the Bin Thai markets, which is the largest market in Ho Chi Minh City and is mainly wholesale. We're now entering a Chinese market. Very colourful. So these are Chinese wholesale markets, so you have to buy in bulk here. Then the small business person resells it. So everything is bought in bulk here.
Yes, that's okay.
Now if you want to buy some hats, let's look at some hats here. Now, there we go. There's some hats for you. Look. Thousands and thousands of them, all sorts. This is where you buy peanuts in bulk and sweets, all in bulk. So these are bulk wholesale markets. Well, from nuts and sweets we go to shoes, bulk shoes. This is where you buy your bulk shoes. And these are wholesale bags, all sorts of bags through here. That's the end of our motorcycle trip, so I'll now get back on the bike. Back to the hotel. Back to the taxi. Okay, what's your name? Wow. Okay, that's Wow, my driver. Very good driver. We've now arrived back here at the hotel after a very exciting time here in Ho Chi Minh City. After leaving Ho Chi Minh City, we take a 3-hour drive to join a river cruise for the next 8 days from the Mekong Delta to the Angkor Wat in Cambodia. The cruise starts here at Mai Tho and stops at various towns along the way like Kai Bi, Vin Long, Sa Dek, Tan Chau, and into the capital of Cambodia, Phnom Penh, then to Chong Khoi, Prek Kadam, Kampong Tralak, Kampong Chang, into the huge Tonle Sap Lake, with the cruise finishing at Siem Reap, from where we will go to the holy Angkor Wat. Well, we've arrived here at the Mekong River to board this riverboat, and we'll head to Siem Reap to the Angkor Wat.
Welcome on board.
Okay, thank you. The RV Armour Lotus river cruise ship is co-designed and co-owned by Australian Pacific Travel, or APT, and raises the bar by setting a standard never previously possible on the Mekong River. She has 4 decks, 50 fully appointed cabins, and can cater for 200 people, and of course is fully air-conditioned.
So our excursion we will cruise on the upper river.
And now it's lunchtime here. Beautiful sit-down dinner. This is the first day on the river boat, or the cruise ship here on the Mekong River, and we're heading towards Cambodia to the Angkor Wat. This is a beautiful setting here, look. Lovely deck. All the drinks are free, fantastic meals, and very, very nice, very pleasant. Behind me is the very famous Vietnamese flag, the red flag with a yellow star. After travelling upriver, on day 2, our first stop is here at Kai Bay. Well, today is the second day of our trip on the boat, and we're on the Mekong River, and we're going to take these little smaller boats ashore to a town called Kai Bai. Behind me are some local markets, floating markets. Kai Bai is one of the well-known floating markets in the western region of southern Vietnam. It has a population of around 300,000 and is one of the most important centres for distribution of agricultural products, especially tropical fruits, for the whole region as well as the entire country. Quite amazing, in the middle of Vietnam, on the Mekong River, there's a Catholic church. Okay, we're now ashore. Here we are, shown how to make pop rice Vietnamese style. Basically the idea is the same as making popcorn, but using a rice grain which has to have a certain amount of moisture in it to be popped. What makes rice popping special is the use of heated black sand in the process. The rice is poured into a large hot pan with very hot sand already in it, and is vigorously stirred until the rice starts to pop.
So now you can see the hot rice, rice pot, and black sand together. So the next step
Black sand.
is how we cut.
The contents of the pan is sifted so that popped rice remains in the sieve and the sand goes back into the pan.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see that some small hot rice go down with the rice pot. This is wait, just a few minutes.
And we'll now taste some of this popped rice. Oh,
But for the hot rice, if you want to have some other flavor.
it's got no taste, but they put it in their cake and put sweets with it, and the kids just love it.
Like they are dancing.
Here they are making pop noodles, where they mix a coconut toffee in with crispy noodles. This is poured into a shallow square mould and spread out evenly. It's then rolled till it's compact and flat. It's then cut up into bite-sized bars ready for packaging.
Please feel free to take some.
And there's packets of pop rice and there's packets of pop noodle. And here they keep a pet python. This is making coconut chip candy.
This After that, then we put it in it's like a net, and use the machine to pound it. Press it hard to get the coconut milk. They will stir it very well.
Coffee candy.
Coffee, and after that, when it becomes sticky, they will put it on a table, shred it over there, and cut it in pieces. And I think just feel free to come up, or you can give the dish to people. You can share it. Have you got it? Okay. She just cut it like that, and then they will wrap it by paper the way that they're wrapping it in, like Chinese people, they play mahjong. But, ladies and gentlemen, when they grab our coconut candy by paper, rice wine.
And that's a snake rice wine.
Yeah.
That's the normal rice.
Yeah, the normal is the white one here, the clear one. Came out.
This is a rice wine still.
But,
To make rice paper, soaked raw rice is ground with water into a slurry or batter, which is spread onto a cloth over boiling water, resulting in a crepe, which is cooled on a rotating rack, ready for the next crepe. Look at this. This is way out in the country area of Vietnam, and they've got the internet here. All these kids are playing games and using the internet. Well, here we are at a 19th century French Gothic cathedral whose elegant spire dominates the river. The cathedral was built in the late 1920s by the local Catholic community living here and now is still in use. Our river cruise ship makes a short trip up the river to the provincial capital of Vinh Long, which is the second biggest city located by the Mekong River.
oh, we're small in numbers.
Okay, now we're going for an afternoon tour now on the next town, because the boat's just gone up the river. Here we visit the very busy food market and see a big variety of food, from vegetables, fresh fish, fresh fruits to all manner of aquatic life.
See some video.
We're now in Vinh Long. Well, this is the very popular jackfruit, which is very sweet. It contains a lot of sugar and calories. The pit can also be boiled and eaten as well. Here they're selling fish nets. This is tobacco.
But in my country, they still allowed to bring the company name on the box. See that?
This is like a lychee, and this is a dragon fruit. This is the durian fruit, which is regarded by many people in Southeast Asia as the king of fruits. The durian is distinctive for its large size, stomach-churning odor, and formidable covered husk. The edible flesh emits a distinctive smelly odor that has led to the fruit's banishment from certain hotels and public transportation in Southeast Asia. It tastes like a sweet custard mixed with a French runny cheese. All in all, not bad, but you need to ignore the smell. Flying some ducks. Away he goes, on the bike, ready to go home. Porpoises. What are they? Snakes? These are fish tank boats, and there's fish actually swimming in there, but they can't escape. And these fish have come from about 6 hours away, and they bring them here to the market, and then the fish are still alive, and then they sell the fish. So there's a big, underneath the floor there, it's all water. Well, we say goodbye to Vinh Long, and we're heading back on the boats now, and these boats back to our big mother ship.
Look in the front of you.
The next day we stop at Sa Dec, which is a river port, an agricultural and industrial trading centre, and has a population of 103,000. Sa Dec is a major producer of red bricks and red tiles. These are still being made in an old traditional way. Massive kilns blotch the landscape around the Mekong Delta. They rise up in clusters of beehive-shaped structures that churn out millions of bricks each year. Here we are at the brick factory. Okay, this area, this whole province or this whole town specialises in making bricks. So we're going to have a look at this brick factory. Now this is clay he's putting in the machine. And then it comes out in ribbons like this. and a wire cuts it. So these must be tiles. So here they're making tiles, but they can just change this mold here to make bricks. And this is the guy just grabbing the clay here, puts the clay into the hopper. Now, after the tiles have been slightly dried, they put them in a flattening machine to make the tiles nice and flat. See? Here are all the brick kilns lined up. That one is still sealed, and this one over here has just been opened. And you can see the bricks inside. See that there? Here they use the rice husks to use as fuel for the oven. And you can see the rice husks here being used as fuel. See? So these are the rice husk. You see they load them up into a hopper up the top of the kiln like that. And then they just fire it along. And now we'll see how the bricks are loaded into the kilns. So this is how they load the bricks and tiles into the kiln using this device. And there you can see inside the kiln, and there's tiles there and there's bricks there. But look how high it goes up, look. Huge. And here's an empty kiln, look. This is an empty kiln. Well, this kiln here has finished. So this is completed, ready for the bricks to be taken out. And notice here, they've got a little altar, and they worship the god of the kilns over here. They're very superstitious here. And here we go inside the kiln, and they have to... these are all the baked bricks ready to be used. And after our visit, we go back onto the boat to another place, to the next place. Okay, here we are at another marketplace. It's a little bit different to the other ones. And over here we have some live fish. There. Live fish. I get a better price for live fish because there's very little refrigeration here, of course. Want to see how to fillet a fish? Watch this lady. And And here's another Chinese temple here. In the early years of the 19th century, the Cantonese congregation decided to build the Thein Hau Pagoda. This is dedicated to Thein Hau, a female Buddha. The pagoda has been carefully decorated and has become known as one of the busiest pagodas in the area. These are weapons.
That's why when you sometimes you see the wedding party, you see they wear the wedding dress.
These are little places where they prayed to their deceased, and that's the name of their relatives or the deceased there.
Sometimes you see
And there's another altar over here. Again, they've got the name of the deceased on the altar. But here they sell sugar cane. But here we are in another marketplace in the same town. That's very, very busy. And you see this guy pretty loaded up. There's a traffic jam here. Everybody's busy. 10 Chau, population 160,000, has fish farms, produces 30% of Vietnam's rice, and is famous for its silk production. Well, today is Thursday the 1st of November 2012, and we've arrived here at Thein Hau. Thein Hau has many bassa and pink carp floating fresh fish farms here on the Mekong River. These are a fast-growing fish and are one of the world's most successful aquaculture species and exported all over the world. Yeah, here we are at some floating fish farms. These are houses that are they made into floating fish farms. I'll just show you how they work. Bassa fish, despite its unfair reputation as being of dubious quality, is rapidly becoming one of the most popular fish in Europe, North America and Australia because of its large white fillets with no bones, flesh that is moist with a light firm texture and a mild fish flavour. They put small fish, baby fish in here, and then 5 months later they mature. And then they lift all the floors up, they gather all the fish up and put them in a floating boat and take the fish alive to the marketplaces. They get about $5,000 US for one of these harvests every 5 months. And here's Wendy, a wonderful Wendy. Here's Marie and Richard arriving. Well, we're now at a typical little village here in Vietnam, and this is fairly untouched by tourism, so we're going to have a quick look at a real village. And here the farmers are tending their cows.
In Vietnam, we've got two systems in Vietnam, the private system and the public system. The public system belongs to the government and the private belongs to the European system.
Now after our village tour, we're getting back onto a boat to see a mat weaving place. This is the dyed flax ready for weaving. This is a dark green colour, you see? But they do all different colours. We're going into the factory there. Feeding the fire. Okay, this is the solid beds they have here where they use the mats that we've just seen being woven. And it's a very solid bed. Look.
It's alright. Thanks, okay. Thanks.
So this is a silk making machine, and the silk is made of white cloth, see? After that demonstration, this is the main factory where there's hundreds of machines here making silk. See that? Hundreds of them. Look. And at the moment it's lunchtime, so they're not operating, but normally this is a very, very noisy place. Like she's repairing some threads here. Let's go a little bit further in and have a look and see what this is all about. Imagine, once they're all going, how noisy this place must be. And these are the little reels of silk that they load into the machine. It goes through there like that. And here are the bulk rolls of silk, which they put onto smaller rolls to put into the machines. And here are all the Australian shoppers ready to buy all the silk. Scarves, $5 for a scarf. And here are some dresses, all made of silk, and blouses, all made of silk. How much are these US?
Yeah, 12.
$12 US.
12.
Oh, okay. All silk.
Do you remember where we have to meet?
Okay, after our visit to the silk making factory, silk dress making factory, silk cloth making factory, we are driving through the suburbs back to the boat. Yeah, the kids there, they all want to say hello, they're a friendly little bunch. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we finished our rickshaw ride and we're here at the harbour ready to be picked up by our boats. But look at this, there's some pigs there behind us. comes our boat to pick us up.